If you're a new real estate agent, you're probably trying to pick a brokerage right now. Hi, this is Tasha with eXp Realty. I'm going to talk about how to choose the right brokerage for you. So I have been with my brokerage for about 3 years now. I think it's important that I give you a little bit of background. I was with KW when I first started out, and then I switched over to a boutique brokerage. And so I was with them for about a year before they switched over to, they basically merged with a bigger brokerage. And so they switched over to that bigger brokerage. And unfortunately, after I was there for another year, I realized that it just wasn't working out. And so that's whenever I switched over to eXp Realty. And so I kind of can give you, my experience as to like what made me switch over from KW to a boutique. I obviously didn't have the choice on the other one. And then how I ended up getting to eXp Realty. But, I have experience in that with, how many brokerages that I've been with and what's important to you whenever you're making that decision. I can speak to it, because I've been through it basically. So, one of the first things you're going to want to figure out is what are the fees, what's the splits, and what's the cap. So fees, let's talk fees. So does the brokerage have desk fees, technology fees, monthly fees? Like what are the fees that brokerage requires of you? So find out what those are. Our brokerage has a really low one. It's like $80 to $85. I can't remember which one it is, but $80 to $85 a month. And then find out too if there's a transaction fee. Sometimes they'll add on a transaction fee whenever you're closing deals. So ours has a $250. And of course, after you cap, that can look a little bit differently. So splits is that means like what you are taking home versus what the brokerage is taking from you. So like for eXp, it's 80-20. So 80% to the agent, 20% to the brokerage. And so you'll want to figure out what that's going to look like. Of course, as a new agent, you're going to have a little bit higher of a split, because most brokerages require you to have a mentor. So that's one thing to look into is what their mentorship program is and how they pair you up. Usually it's about 50 to 60, maybe 70%, depending on which brokerage that you're at. So it's not uncommon to see a 50 to 60 split for a new realtor, because you're going to have most brokerages that I've been with, it's 3 transactions that you have to have before they'll let you go back up to the 80-20 split. They want somebody there guiding you and teaching you. So you'll want to look into like what that looks like for you. And so you're going to have that split out to the mentor. And then also what your cap is going to be, if there is one. Some brokerages do not have a cap, and that means how much you've paid into the brokerage before they let you take home 100% of the commission. So like eXp's is 16,000. So once you hit that 16,000, you will cap out, and then you get to keep 100%. That's for your agent year. So that's within a year's time frame. It's not indefinite. It resets for the next year. So looking at what that is going to be, because some brokerages do not have it. So that's always good to know up front, and knowing if it's how high it's going to be, if anything, and if there's any royalty fees as well, you'll want to take that into account. And then do you want to be at the office or do you want to work from home? Of course, the fees go into like desk fees if you want to work from the office instead of working from home, because I know some people like working from their office. I like working from the home office. I don't like going into an actual office because it's just distracting with all the people around. I'd rather do my own thing at home and be able to just be here, because I've never understood the 9 to 5 at a brokerage, because we all go into real estate not wanting that 9 to 5. So why would I go into the office 9 to 5 if I'm going to be, be in real estate, because I don't have a normal 9 to 5. I'm working past that 5 o'clock. So it doesn't make sense to okay, I'm going to pack up the office at 5 o'clock. Obviously I could stay later, but I would prefer to be home. So figure out if you decide you want to be home or not. With online brokerages like EXP, you can still have an office. So don't let that deter you. If you're thinking about an online brokerage, you can still have an office and you can still go in and be around people. And especially if you join a team, you can definitely go into an office and be around people if they have a local office. Of course, I'm just talking about virtual brokerages. So, but of course, that may not work for everybody. So that's fine. And then what do they require of you? Do they expect you to have floor time? I don't know if that's still a thing, because it's never been a thing for me. But do they expect you to be in the office at a certain amount of time? Do they, what do they expect from you? I know each brokerage is going to be different. So each one is going to be different. So you're just going to want to figure out what those requirements are going to be. And then how will they support you? How easily accessible is the broker to you? What does that support look like? Is it, can you call the broker? Do you have to set up a schedule with them to even talk to them? So, what does that look like, and how are they supporting you, and what kind of training do they have available for you? That's going to be one of the most important things, because you want to make sure you're supported as a new agent and you have those resources available to you, but then you also have brokers and, other agents who are helping you as well. But a lot of times you don't see that, right? So just making sure that you do have that support, and you're looking at what training is provided to you. Is it provided by somebody that's not in real estate anymore, or is it provided by top producers in the industry, or is it just top producers at your own brokerage? So those are some things to take into account, because it's really going to affect how well you're doing, whether you believe it or not. So you can also talk to somebody who's been there for deciding on what brokerage to go to. You can definitely talk to me and schedule a consult with me to help you figure that out. You do not have to come to my brokerage. I will not pitch you on it. I will just help you figure out what it looks like for you, what your needs are, and help you figure out if a virtual brokerage would work, or if a brick and mortar is going to work for you, because everybody is different. So if that's something that you would like, I would love to be able to chat with you and see how I can help you with your needs with choosing your brokerage. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Please pick a spot on the calendar down below, and I would love to chat with you. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.